Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to take a look at the very recent ColdFusion Improper Access Control vulnerability, CVE 2024-20767. So, having read this and seen what's going through it, I can see it's an 8.2 high, which looks exciting, especially if you like bug bounty, that can earn you a few dollars, so that's great. If you're a defender, that's also very scary because that means there's stuff we can get potentially from the server, which is meaningful. But let's take a look. So as I read through here, not too much on what it does. So going to take a look at a script I found. This is a pre-made exploit already, so just going to walk through this very quickly. So it's a two-stage attack, as I said, mentioned already. The first stage is we need to first go to this endpoint here, get heartbeat. That returns some XML. Having looked at this pattern here, so we're trying to grab out the ID. We then pull out the ID, we then use that in a subsequent request, which is shown here. So we use the header ID and add the ID there. And we then use the traversal just here to go and pull our file from the file system. So it's two stages. From the blue side, this should be pretty easy to capture because firstly, any of these requests here are going to be malicious for sure if they're not originating from your local host. And secondly, to see the performance monitoring tools kit, I guess it's called, I think it's toolkit. Yeah, that should probably not be originating from an IP on the internet. It should be local host, so, or local to a network at the very least. So it should be pretty easy to determine from the blue side of this. And moreover, I mean, it should be easy to log down. This should not be online, but it really does happen, and it's very commonly found online. Cool, so without further ado, let's take a look. So here is my ColdFusion server, just give you a quick show of that. There we go, running, nothing too exciting, just a default install, not much going on there. So firstly, we want to go ahead now and get the heartbeat, so I'm just going to bring up something I created earlier to make my life a little bit easier. So here we go, going to grab this curl command. I want to use the curl command over the Python because I think it just shows it a little bit easier. Let's just open this up now, and let's paste. So cool, let's take a look. So yeah, we're going to connect to my local host. This is the running instance. We're going to go to the admin API, server manager CFC, and we're going to do the get heartbeat method. As I've said already, from the blue side, if you see admin API on the internet available to anyone, and it's not behind authentication, like this isn't, it seems like it's going to be a problem to me immediately. I can appreciate there's probably not too much sensitive information here, so if we just see the output, there's not too much that's that exciting in there. We get the port, which we already know, obviously. We have the IP address, not really that sensitive. And I suppose without knowing, we could use this ID later. So this is what we're wanting to grab for the future attack. There's probably not too much there that's that important. But again, it's probably not something you want to have on the internet or accessible to anyone. You know, even in an internal pen test, you wouldn't want someone to access this unless they should be able to. So the second stage of this attack, we need to then use this ID, as shown here with the header, and we're going to go ahead and grab the password file. So we're going to use a directory traversal just shown here, and we're going to grab the first 100 lines. I'm going to change that to 500 lines, see what it does. I haven't tried that before. Maybe it gives us an error, maybe it doesn't, but hopefully it will show us more of the password file. Right, so let's paste that in. So we have the password file here. That's great. That's on its own is not too exciting, but it's usually shown to, as a proof of concept that you can get to a file on the file system. Obviously, if you were to look around, start to hit some common paths, you might find some more interesting things like a password in a file. You might be able to potentially find maybe a backup. Who knows? I mean, depending on how it outputs, you could maybe reuse that information. I'm not too sure. I haven't tried it as a zip file or anything like that, but if it's presented in a way that could be reused, it might be possible. But that's it. That's how easy the vulnerability is. Kind of scary. Definitely one to patch when you can. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.